Ghost Bride. With a title like that, you'll be forgiven for thinking this is actually going to be a comedy movie, but it isn't. And to be honest, it's not actually a horror film either. It's kind of more a supernatural drama. Now, I have to admit, I was actually interested with the initial premise of this movie. This is actually a New Zealand produced film, but it actually is about more sort of Chinese culture more than anything else. And essentially what you've got here, you have a young man called Yoson who is from Chinese descent, but he's been kind of born and raised in New Zealand. But his mother is very, very traditional. His dad has passed away some time ago. And he's been kind of seeing this kind of white New Zealand girl for a little while, for about a year, but his mum doesn't know that. And his mum is a little bit ill and sort of concerned that, you know, his son may not marry. And she kind of wants to honour her dead husband, his father, by kind of marrying him off and kind of to sort of really sort of keep in line with these sort of traditions, these sort of Chinese traditions. So she goes and sees a kind of matchmaker to ideally get him sort of set up with a kind of arranged marriage. However, this kind of matchmaker has got her own ideas and actually decides to set him up with a ghost for her reasons will come clear later in the movie. And then what you've got really is, I suppose, a love triangle as Yoson is kind of wants to sort of really be with his actual girlfriend, but is kind of split whether he sort of go forward with his kind of family commitments and kind of you know, see this kind of ghost girl who doesn't realise she's a ghost, at least initially. And that's the kind of the basic premise of the film. It gets very kind of strange and a little bit weird towards the end, and I'm pretty confused. I'll come on to it in just a second. But that's the basic setup. I was actually quite interested in this kind of this premise. I thought it was quite an interesting sort of an original sort of setup for a film. However, this is crippled by some major problems. First of all, let's talk about the acting. The acting is horrible.
Your father worked hard to give you a life in New Zealand. My time to join him may be near.
You look beautiful tonight, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm just so lucky to have you.
You're so sweet.
I don't know if any of these people are kind of professional actors. They certainly don't seem like it to me. Apparently the matchmaker was in a David Bowie video once, but that's about it. But the acting is so bad. The line delivery is absolutely terrible. The best actress is the girl who plays the Chinese ghost, and she doesn't speak. And the second thing, it kind of gets just a little bit strange and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. That something sort of quite major, in my opinion, happens about 2/3 of the way filmed. It's massively glossed over and never really touched upon again, which just doesn't make sense to me. I won't tell you what it is for fear of spoilers, but it just doesn't make sense. And also sort of people's reactions to things, especially Yoson. I mean, this goes in hand with the acting, I suppose, is that people's reactions just again, and they just don't make sense. And this whole movie just really sort of falls apart. Partly because of this, I say, that kind of the acting doesn't sell the emotions, and the script, quite frankly, just doesn't make a lot of sense in places. So overall, I have to say this movie was a little bit of a mess. I said the premise was quite interesting, and I guess there are some sort of spooky moments, but it's no mean a horrific film. There are kind of mild, very, very mild gore effects towards the end of the movie, but it's obviously quite a low budget film, and there's some restrictions that you will see on screen here. The actual ghostly effects are really just kind of sort of video effects and kind of your stereotypical sort of Asian, you know, ghostly figures kind of wandering around and things like that. To be honest, it's quite a disappointing film. It's quite a slow movie as well. Like I said, this is less of a horror film, more of a kind of supernatural genre of drama film. Really, it's kind of a bit boring. If I'm completely honest, I was kind of fidgeting around and kind of just waiting for it to end. But I did get through the whole movie. And unfortunately, the basic premise doesn't save this film from being a little bit disappointing. So I'm going to give this movie a 3 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think? Leave me a comment. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.